Hi, I'm Peter Burris, and welcome to a special digital community event brought to you by Wikibon and theCUBE. Sponsored by Dell EMC today, we're going to spend quite some time talking about some of the trends in the relationship between hardware and AI. Specifically, we're seeing a number of companies do some masterful work incorporating new technologies to simplify the infrastructure required to take full advantage of AI options and possibilities.
Certainly AI is one of the hottest areas. There's a report, I think, that was co-sponsored by ServiceNow. Over 62% of the CIOs in the Fortune 500 are looking at AI as far as managing their business in the future. And it's really about user outcomes. It's about how do they improve their businesses, their operations, their processes, their decision making, using the capability of compute coming down from a cost perspective and the number of connected devices exploding, bringing more and more data to their companies that they can use, analyze, and put to use cases that really make a difference in their business. You know, what's happening in our customers' environment is they're hiring these data scientists to really look at this data. And instead of looking at analyzing the data that's being connected, that's being analyzed and connected, they're spending more time worried about the infrastructure and building the components and looking about allocations of capacity in order to make these data scientists productive. And what we've been doing is working with our customers over the last several years, looking at these challenges around infrastructure, the data analytics, the connected devices, but giving them an experience that's real time, not letting them worry about how am I going to set this up or management and so forth. We have IP around compute, storage, networking, infinity band, the things that are capable of putting this infrastructure together. So we've tested that based upon customers' input using traditional data analytics, libraries, and tool sets that the data scientists are going to use, already pre-tested and certified. And then we're bringing this to them in a way which allows them, through a service provisioning portal, to basically set up and get to work much faster. We believe that the silos of server storage and networking are becoming eliminated, that companies want a platform that they can enable this capabilities. The usual automation and configuration tools that they're used to coming from some of our software partners such as Cloudera. So in other words, you still want the IT department involved, making sure that the infrastructure is meeting the requirements of the users, they're giving them what they want, but we're simplifying the tools and processes around the IT standpoint as well. The performance and scalability of this particular platform is tremendous. We believe in certain benchmark studies based upon the Resnick 50 benchmark, we've performed anywhere between 2.5 to almost 3 times faster than the competition.
High performance computing has applicability across a broad range of industries. So not just national labs and supercomputers, but commercial space as well. And our lab, we've done a lot of that work in the last several years. When you walk around the lab, you'll see our racks are set up with power meters. So we do power measurements. Whatever best practices and tuning we come up with, we feed that into our factory. So if you buy a solution, say targeted for HPC, it would come with different BIOS tuning options than a regular, say, Oracle database workload. We conduct training in the lab for our services and support people. But you know, we're an engineering organization. And so when customers come into the lab and work with us, they work with it from a engineering point of view. The technology building blocks for several of these solutions are similar, right? So when you're looking at storage arrays, when you're looking at Linux kernels, when you're looking at network cards or solid state drives or NVMe, several of the building block technologies are similar. So we share those best practices because, you know, we engineers sit next to each other and we discuss things with each other. We're part of the larger organization. So even industries where you didn't think of them as being leading edge on the technical forefront in terms of IT infrastructure and digital transformation, you know, in every one of these places, you're going to have an impact of what you do. The tighter that things work together, the better that they work together. And that's directly through all the technologies that we have in the Dell Technologies umbrella and with Dell EMC. And that's because of our super close relationships with our partners that allows us to build these solutions that are painless for our customers and our users.
We're applying AI into biometrics, but not just a fingerprint or a facial recognition, but actually how you interact with your device. So you think of like the Internet of Things and you're sitting back saying, I'm swiping my device, my mobile device, or how I interact with the keyboard. Those are all key signatures. And we, with our company, New Data, that we've just acquired, are taking that capability to create a profile and make that part of your signature. So it's not just beyond a fingerprint, it's not just beyond a facial, it's actually how you're interacting so that we know it's you. For us, it's always about scale. How can we roll this across 220 countries? You know, we're 165 million transactions per hour, right? So what we're looking for is a partner who also has that ability to scale, a partner who has a global presence, who's learning. So that's the first step. That's going to help you with your time to value. The other part is actually sitting back and actually using those particular partners to bring their expertise that they're learning to combine with yours. It's no longer just silos. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, how can we be learning from each other? Those open source systems that are out there, how do we learn from that community? So for us is how can we move what we need to have in the core and what we need to have on the edge? So the question for us always is, we want that algorithm to be smart. So what 3 to 4 things do we need that algorithm to be looking for within that artificial intelligence? It needs to know that it then goes back into the core and retrieves something. And again, when you look at your partners, it's the question now is how are they interacting? Has this been done at scale somewhere else? Can you help me understand how I need to deploy this so that I can reduce my time to value?
Thanks for being on theCUBE.
Thank you for having me.